Huwag natin lituhin ang taong bayan.
So tama yung sinasabi ni Congresswoman Estela na hindi kayo social health insurance program, para naging investment program kayo.
Kasi iba-ibang ginagamit ninyong lengguwahe para malito kami. Meron pa ba kayong ibang pera na nakatago in whatever account na hindi ninyo ginagamit to support your current operations? On the basis of these numbers, you're forgoing 65 to 100 billion pesos. So ganun po kalaki ang nawawala natin pera, siguro dahil anyway, nakahiga kayo sa sobrang daming pera. Mr. Chair, unahin ko na po si Mr. Ledesma. Simpleng tanong po sa inyong pagkakaintindi po ng inyong charter. Ano po ang mandato ng PhilHealth?
To provide like I mentioned, well, yung provision po na binasa ko kanina po, that every Filipino citizen shall be automatically included in the National Health Insurance Program. So health financing po for the whole population po, regardless of status. To provide health financing po to the population.
So maliwanag, financial risk protection. Yun po ang
yes po.
Yan ang mandato.
Financial risk protection.
So maliwanag
yes
po.
Yes po.
So hindi po kayo investment bank, kundi tayo po ay isang social health insurance program. It is not just a health insurance program, it is a social health insurance program.
Yes po.
Ano pong pagkakaiba nun?
So in other words po, it's not, we are not in the business, PhilHealth is not in the business of a high net income or making a lot of money po. Unlike maybe commercial banks or corporate companies, we are in the business of providing health insurance and not making money po.
Mr. Chair, natutuwa po ako na very clear naman po sa ating PCEO ang mandato. Very clear na they're not in the business of making profits. I'm not sure if you're aware, but 5 out of 10 Filipinos die without seeing a doctor. Napakabigat po ng data na to. Ibig sabihin nun, sa bawat 10 na namamatay, kalahati, hindi man lang binibigyan ng pagkakataon na paglaban ng kanilang buhay. Ang dahilan, pera, di ba? So they don't have enough financing, di ba po? So yun ang dahilan kung bakit wala silang access to care. Kaya po, napaka-importante ng PhilHealth. Kaya po nandito po kami, pasensya na po. Ayun ang dahilan po kung bakit nandito kami at pinupukpok po namin na mag-perform ang PhilHealth. So yun ang dahilan. Okay po. So, hindi po ako kontento doon po sa ating pagkwenta kung magkano ba talaga ang excess funds. Ayokong tawaging surplus dahil pag ginagamit niyo po ang word na surplus, nawawala tayo eh. Okay, so, sige po. Based on your financial statement, June 2024, end of June 2024, yes or no na lang po. Maliwanag, reserves to 80 billion and I believe ito ay based on the definition na pinag-agrihan ninyo ng DOF. Tama po?
Yes po.
Okay, so 280. Mukhang nag-agree na rin kayo na yung excess reserves na ang tawag ninyo surplus ay 183 billion. Kasi kaya nangyaring ganon, previously, ang pagkwenta ninyo ng reserves ay 463, pero nung pumasok ang DOF, klinaro sa inyo na 280 lang dapat ang reserves. So 463 less 280.
So 281 po.
Yeah, so naging yung 463 less 280 ay 183. So yun po ay excess reserves.
Mr. Chair, yes, Your Honor.
Yes, please, Mr. Limsiaco.
Yes, Mr. Chair. That's the excess of the surplus, Mr. Chair.
So, ang tawag nyo lang doon ay surplus. Para lang tayo magkaintindihan.
Yes, Mr. Chair, Kong Stella.
But in actuality, it's excess reserves.
Yes, Mr. Chair, Kong Stella.
Because in your previous financial statements, ang tawag nyo doon ay total reserves.
Mr. Chair, yes, Kong Stella.
Okay. Ang investable funds ninyo, is it 504 billion or 489?
Mr. Chair, again, that 504 that was
Mentioned in the budget hearing?
budget hearing, I think that is June. The 489 or 490 billion, Mr. Chair, this is as of November 30, 2024.
Bakit bumaba?
Mr. Chair, we already released the 60 billion to BTR, Mr. Chair.
Hindi, pakipaliwanag. Ang difference ng 504 at 489 ay hindi naman 60.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Of course, Mr. Chair, Kong Stella, the investment po natin may pumapasok na premium and lumabas na benefit payment, and lumabas yung 60. That's the reason why ang suma total dumating ng November 30 ay nasa 489.5, Mr. Chair.
So as of the latest, it's 489, not 504.
Yes, Mr. Chair, Kong Stella.
Okay, at maliwanag din, base sa sinasabi mo sa akin, ay easily convertible to cash ang investments.
Yes po.
Unlike what you were implying nung nag-i-interpolate si Kong Wilbert. Kasi kanina, nung tinatanong ni Kong Wilbert, ang investments ba ay pwedeng gamitin? Ang sabi ninyo, well, in not so many words, parang tila hindi.
Mr.
Kasi
Chair.
ang kanina maliwanag, ang investments ay bonds, T-bills, securities. Lahat naman po ito ay pwedeng ma-retire at any point in time. Tama?
Tama, Mr. Chair.
Ibig sabihin, if your board directed you, lahat ng 489 investments, lahat yan i-retire today. Pwede yan maging cash bukas. Tama?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
In which case, will you agree with me that 489 is excess?
Mr. Chair,
Please
Ibig
continue.
sabihin, excess. Hindi mo kailangan para patakbuhin ang current benefit packages.
Mr. Chair,
Please continue.
our investment is two things. Part of that.
Yes or no na lang po, Mr. Chair, para mabilis tayo, di ba? Klaro naman yata yung tanong ko. 489, naka-invest ngayon. Kung dinirect kayo ng board niyo, SPP rin sa ako, retire mo lahat yan. Bukas, magiging cash. Yan ba ay excess?
Mr. Chair,
Ibig sabihin, hindi, yan ay over and above what you need to run your current operations.
Mr. Chair, may I...
Please continue. Please answer.
Maraming salamat, Mr. Chair. As I mentioned kanina, the reserve fund and surplus or excess ay nasa members' equity. At yung katapat niyaan ay asset. In other words,
Sir,
itong pundong
wag natin lituhin ang taong bayan. Maliwanag naman po, di ba? Iniisa-isa ko, simple lang naman. Kanina pa natin pinaghihiwalay ang reserves at investments. Maliwanag naman, di ba, Mr. Chair, that they're separate things? Magkaiba yun, di ba? Kung ano yung naka-invest, iba yan doon sa reserves because by law, nakahiwalay yan. Tama ba?
Mr. Chair.
Please.
Again, Mr. Chair, the composition of our reserve, of our investment, portion of that one ay for the reserve, and portion of that one ay for the surplus or the excess. So we
Okay, Mr. Chair, what you're saying is doon sa 489 billion, some of those are part of the 280 reserves?
yes, Mr. Chair.
How much?
Of course, Mr. Chair, the
Mr.
489.
Limshaco, kahit hindi ka naka-oath, Mr. Limshaco, at one point, kung magkakaroon tayo ng inquiry, matandain ako sa numero, maalala ko lahat ito.
Mr. Chair. Yes,
Please
Mr. Chair.
continue.
Again, balance sheet ang pinag-usapan natin. And of course,
Nakakaintindi po kami ng balance sheet.
Opo, asset equals liability plus equity. So, ang reserve po natin at saka yung excess or surplus ay nasa members' equity. Ang katapat niyan ay nasa asset side. Asset. Itong investment natin ay nasa asset, meaning itong asset natin ito yung nagko-cover, yung gagamitin natin na pondo ay papalabas ay ito. So in other words, tama si Kong Stella, Mr. Chair, that anytime pwede natin to ma-convert into cash. Because this one ay convertible naman siya and
Okay,
magamit natin sa payment.
so what you're saying, Mr. Chair, is yung buong 280 ay nasa loob ng 489.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Lahat.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Lahat.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay, so 289 minus 280,
Yung buong reserve na
Buong reserve.
280 nasa investment? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, Mr. Chair, because yung backup
Hindi ba under the law dapat only the unused portion of the reserve should be used as investment? Hindi po pwedeng yung buong reserve. Kumbaga yung investment, that is the least priority. Ang priority muna, number one, kailangan gamitin muna yung pera, yung reserve, para sa program's benefit. Number two, kailangan gamitin muna yung pera para sa decrease ng amount ng members' contribution. Pag may sobra, yun lamang ang gagamitin para sa investment. Bakit po ang tanong, bakit buong reserve nilagay na ninyo sa investment?
Mr. Chair,
So tama yung sinasabi ni Congresswoman Estela na hindi kayo social health insurance program, para naging investment program kayo.
So Mr. Chair, so isa-isahin ulit natin ha. So may reserve kayo na 280, may excess reserves kayo na 183, meron kayong investable funds, net of reserves na 209. Inalis ko na doon yung 280. Kasi 489 yan kanina. Tinanggal ko na yung 280. So may natitirang 209.
yes, Mr. Chair.
Tama.
Yes,
Kasi
Mr. Chair.
489 yan kanina. Sabi mo, kasama dyan ang 280.
Yes.
So, investable funds net of reserves is 209. Correct?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Isa-isahin lang natin para makuwenta natin magkano ba talaga available. Tama ba, doon sa budget hearings natin, nung huli, inamin ninyo na meron kayong dalawang unutilized SAROs amounting to 21 billion each?
Mr. Chair, 21 billion each. Yeah, that is the PCSO in PAGCOR
Yes.
for 2023-2024.
Yes.
Yes po.
42 billion pesos.
Yes po.
Total.
Yes po.
Dahil unutilized siya, ibig sabihin nun, excess din yon. Unutilized, hindi pa nagagamit.
Hindi nagamit.
Mr. Chair, as to the...
Unutilized ha, ibig sabihin, kumbaga, uncash check. Parang ganon. Tama ba? Parang siyang uncash check. Available, pero hindi pa nagagamit. Tama ba yun?
Mr. Chair, if may I, Mr. Chair, this 21.17 ay PCSO in PAGCOR.
Yes po.
And ito po ay 2023-2024.
Yes po.
Hindi pa ho namin na-receive yung NCA po nito.
O, pero merong ganon. Yes, pero may SARO na.
May SARO po, pero hindi po siya, wala pa siyang cash backup. No NCA po.
Pareho.
Yes po.
Parehong walang NCA.
Yes po.
Mr. Chairman,
So, ang ibig sabihin ng SARO, Special Allotment Release Order, ibig sabihin, may pondo na inilalaan.
Yes.
Okay, yung NCA, Notice of Cash Allotment, ibig sabihin may pera na.
Yes.
Tama po ba?
Pero pag may SARO ka,
Pag may SARO ka, ibig
yun
sabihin,
na rin yun.
good as cash na rin.
Good as cash.
Kumbaga, parang sinasabi, meron ng allocation for
Yes
that.
po.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, if I may,
With the indulgence of Congresswoman Estela,
ano lang,
please, Congressman
maybe
Franz
you can
Pumar.
ask the gentleman to answer your inquiry kanina. Hindi niya sinagot eh. Yung tanong mo na kung lahat ba yung investment, nilagay lahat sa investment yung sobra.
Yung
Hindi
lahat
sinagot
pa ng
yun.
reserve, nilagay mo sa investment.
Mr. Chair, may I answer?
Yes, kidding po.
Maraming salamat,
Yung buong 280 na reserve, lahat po ba yung nilagay nyo sa investment?
Mr. Chair, as provided in Section 21 of the USC, second paragraph, Mr. Chair, any unused portion of the reserve funds that is not needed to meet the current expenditures obligation or support the above-mentioned program shall be placed in investment to earn an average annual income at prevailing rates of interest and shall be referred to as investment reserve fund. This investment reserve fund shall be invested in any or all of the following. That is the authority of the law kung saan namin ipapasok yung investment, Mr. Chair. Itong provision, Mr. Chair, that sinasabi niya, pag mayroon ho tayong pundo na hindi natin magagamit, ay ipapasok natin sa investment to earn an interest kahit paano, Mr. Chair.
Paano naging unused yung buong reserve? Meron talagang dapat paglaanan niya. Number one, sabi nga dito, kailangan yung programs benefit. Number two, decrease the amount of members' contribution. Di dapat nga, ginamit nyo muna yung dalawang yun. Yung sosobra doon, pag may balances, yun lang yung magiging unused portion.
Mr. Chair?
Yes, please.
Meaning, Mr. Chair, in the operation of PhilHealth, as mentioned by PCO Ledesma, pumapasok po yung pondo more than sa lumalabas na pondo. Kaya ang trust ngayon ng korporasyon ay accelerate the benefit enhancement para tataas po to.
Okay, so tama yung sinasabi ni Chair na yung buong 280 is naka-invest.
Yes, Mr. Chair, nandun po siya. May backup po siya. Let's leave it at
that first. Let's just account first kung magkano ang excess. Right now, naka-invest ng buong buo ang 280.
Congresswoman, kanina rin, inamin nila, wala pa nga silang decrease ang amount ng members' contribution.
Yes po. So,
ibig sabihin, kasi kaya nga ito ginagawa itong reserve para mapababa natin yung mga contribution ng mga miyembro.
Tama po.
Kapag nawala silang dinecrease, talaga hindi nila magagamit. At nilagay nila sa investment.
Tama po.
So kumbaga, imbis na dapat ibigay dun sa mga tao para mabawasan yung contribution, pinagkakitaan.
Tama po. Tama po, Mr. Chair. So, okay, dagdag dyan. So far, we have 280 in reserves. May excess reserves pa na 183. I suppose, naka-invest din ito.
Mr. Chair, yes po, kasama din po siya sa investment po natin. At anytime, pwede po natin
yung 183 na yan, kasama din ba yan doon sa 489? Hindi.
Mr. Chair, i-clear up ko lang, Mr. Chair. The discussion on 463 ay as of December 31, 2023 na figure natin, Mr. Chair. And of course, tumatakbo yung ating ang panahon, and then as I mentioned kanina, nasa October 31, 150 yung reserve, yung surplus or ang excess, and 281 yung reserve po natin. So, members equity side. Dito po sa figure na ito, kung makikita po natin, bumaba siya from 183 to 150. Because kasama na po dyan yung income for the current year and yung 89.9 billion na balik natin sa Department of Finance, of which 89 po yung nabawas po natin.
So, Mr. Chair, so sinasabi mong excess reserves is not 183 but 150?
Yes po, as of October 31 po.
All I'm doing is doing a simple accounting. Huwag po natin pahirapan, please po, ha? I just want, bilisan po natin kung pwede po, ha? Sige po. So, reserves 280, excess reserves 150, investable net of reserves 209.
Yes, that's 490 minus 280.
Yes, minus 280.
Yes,
209. Tama po? Wala nang double counting so far sa sinasabi ko. Tama po?
Opo.
Yung unused SARO, pasensya na po, bibilangin po namin dyan sa excess, 42 billion. Ngayon, meron pang natirang 30 billion na dapat kasama sa 89.9 pero na TRO. Tama po?
Yes po.
Isasama natin yan sa excess. Saan po yan nakabook ngayon?
Mr. Chair, Maraming salamat po. Nakasama na po siya doon sa na-deduct natin sa 183?
Hindi. Yes. Kasi 150 na siya ngayon.
Opo.
O, di isasama ko ngayon sa 30. Isasama ko siya as a separate item because we removed it from the 183.
Mr. Chair, kung i-add up natin siya in the event that the Supreme Court talagang hindi na talaga may transfer,
yes,
ma-add back siya doon sa 150.
Yes, that is correct.
Tama.
I'm just adding it back.
Opo.
That's why kaya siya naging 180, correct?
Opo.
Okay. Meron pa ditong sa inyong cash equivalents. So merong petty cash fund, merong cash in bank. Ito po ay obviously ginagamit pang operations. Tama po?
Tama po, Mr. Chair.
Pero meron din ditong special savings deposit, which is up to 90 days. Tama po?
Tama po, Mr. Chair.
Ito po ba ay, so ito ay amounting to how much today?
Mr. Chair, Kong Stella, the special savings deposit as of November 30 amounting to 103.9 billion, Mr. Chair.
103.9 billion.
Yes po.
So ito, the way I'm looking at the definition is also excess. Hindi ito ginagamit pang current operations. Tama po?
Mr. Chair, the special savings deposit is already included in the 489.5 o 490 billion na investment po natin.
So kasama siya doon sa 489?
Opo.
So, bakit dun sa financial statements, ibig mong sabihin, kasama siya doon sa investment na item?
Mr. Chair?
Kasi hindi siya kasama sa cash and cash equivalents. Meron 3 items sa inyong financial statement. Meron cash and cash equivalents, which I suppose includes SSD.
Mr. Chair, the composition again of the cash and cash equivalent, tama si Kong Stella, kasama po dyan yung special savings deposit. And
so hindi yan kasama sa 489. Because 489 includes investment in time deposits and investment securities,
Mr. Chair,
which are separate items.
Mr. Chair, the investment account, Mr. Chair, investment securities at amortized cost 389 or 390 on part of the non-current assets, Mr. Chair, Kong Stella, as of June FS natin.
So, parang hindi siya nag-reconcile dito sa halimbawa, ang hawak ko ngayon, let's say March, FS, ang cash 44 billion, investments 97 billion, investment securities 371. So kulang-kulang 470 ang investments.
As of March.
Kasama dito ang SSD?
Investable fund, again, 489 as of November. Investable fund. So SSD, time deposit, investment at amortized cost. Kung titingnan natin po yung balance sheet po, yun po siya yung composition of our investable fund. Again, these investment securities at amortized cost, kasama po yung corporate bond po natin.
So you're saying, Mr. Lim Shaco, at one point we will put you under oath. So for now, I will take your word that 103.9B is not excess. Meaning hindi siya kailangan for current operations? Is that what you're saying? They are in 90-day deposit accounts, but you are telling us na hindi yan kailangan for current operations? Is that what you're telling us? Nakadeposito siya 90 days, 3 buwan, pero hindi yan kailangan para sa current operations? Yan
Mr.
ang
Chair,
sinasabi ninyo sa amin, Mr. James Shakako.
Mr. Chair, Mr. Chair, Kong Stella, every point in time, mayroon ho tayong nakalagay na buffer na 3 months
Mr.
po.
Chair, simplihan natin. Ang ibig sabihin ng SSD based on COA report is, it's an account, 90 days. Tama?
Mr. Chair, let me check the details of this one because sa special savings deposit, hindi siya 30 days
Babasahin ko na lang sa'yo. The SSDs are term deposits of 1 day up to 90 days.
Yes po.
O, so tama.
So, 1 day to... Yes,
1
yes
day
po.
to... Yes. So, ibig sabihin,
So,
ang tinatanong ko sa'yo, what portion of these SSDs ang hindi ginagamit pang current operations? Kasi again, nag-account tayo ng excess funds. Funds na hindi kailangan pang current operations.
Mr. Chair, that SSD, technically, ito yung buffer natin na ginagamit sa benefit payout. Again, as I mentioned kanina, 3 buwan po yung binabuffer natin at any given point in time, may 3 buwan po tayo.
Is your buffer separate from reserves?
Okay, Mr. Chair.
Ano po ang difference ng buffer sa
Yes.
reserve?
Okay. Yung buffer, Mr. Chair, ito po yung at any given point in time na gagamitin natin na available pondo ng PhilHealth na pwede natin ibayad cash. So, for instance, may papasok na claims, automatically mayroon tayong pagkukunan sa kanya. Now, on the
So
Hindi ba ganun din yung reserve?
Mr. Chair, magkakaiba po sila. Because ang reserves ay, this is talagang long term po to.
So, kailangan mo siya pang current operations.
Pang current operation
Okay,
po to.
so tatanggalin muna natin siya sa pag-accounting ng excess. Tama ba?
Mr. Chair, kung
Yes or no na lang para magbilis tayo.
magkakaiba kasi ang ating pinag-usapan kasi reserves at saka yung excess.
Ang
Nandito
pinag-uusapan po natin, ito sinabi ninyong SSDs amounting to 103.9 billion pesos. Malaking amount. Nagbibilang tayo ng, ang question kasi ngayon, napakadami ninyong pondo, di ba? Nagbibilang po kami dito kung magkano ba talaga kalaki ang sobrang pondo ng PhilHealth. Hindi kasi namin alam eh. Iba-iba kasi number di ba? Once and for all, lagyan na natin ng tuldok. Magkano ba talaga ang excess funds nyo? Kasi iba-ibang ginagamit ninyong lengguwahe para malito kami. Yun kasi ang problema. Di ba po?
Mr. Chair, nandito po kami para hindi po maglito po. But kinalatag lang namin po yung FS, yung
sige, so sabihin nyo na lang po sa amin, itong 103.9 na nasa SSD, ito po ba ay ginagamit ninyo to support your current operations? Yes or no lang naman po?
Yes po.
Okay,
Sinusupport
yes.
po sa
Okay,
operation
sige,
po.
yes. So I will remove it nga. Okay. So, meron pa ba kayong ibang pera na nakatago in whatever account na hindi ninyo ginagamit to support your current operations?
Mr. Chair,
Including current benefit expansion, etc. Basta current operations.
Opo, talagang ang investment na non-current asset po natin as of June, yun po yung 390 billion pesos, Mr. Chair, Kong Stella.
What about itong unearned income, itong advance premium from direct contribution members, amounting to 279 million?
Mr. Chair, ito po yung unearned income na kolekta na po natin pero hindi pa siya yung applicable period na
Correct.
kanyang
But that's
pagka-record.
cash.
Opo,
But that's
pumapasok
cash.
na po siya sa atin.
Yun na nga, but that's cash.
Opo,
Or
na-receive na po
meron
na
din
corporation.
premium contribution for NHTS enrollment, but for 2013 and 2014, meaning from a long time ago. So that's 516 million. That's 500 million pesos. So, ano ang treatment ng cash na to? Because the total in this category sa COA report is 818 million pesos. Ano ang treatment sa collections na ito?
Mr. Chair, may I clarify, Mr. Chair?
Please continue.
As of na report yung hawak mo, Kong Stella?
2023 COA report.
2023 December.
December report, please. Para ma-clarify. December.
So, obviously, hindi ninyo ito kailangan para sa current operations. Tama po? Because it's not for benefit payout.
Mr. Chair, ang kailangan natin sa operation, ito yung special savings deposit, Mr. Chair.
No, itong tinatanong ko, deferred, unearned income, deferred credit. Iyan ang tinatanong ko po. Hindi na, I've moved on from SSDs. So ito yung advance premiums. Ibig sabihin, nakakolekta kayo ng premiums in advance. Hindi ba excess din ito? Or kasama na rin ba ito sa ini-invest ninyo?
Mr. Chair, Kaustela, that amount na-receive na natin ang pera. It can be from part of the SSD and it can be from part of the invested fund natin sa long term or yung investment na non-current asset. Binadownload ko lang, Mr. Chair, yung report mismo para makuha namin yung detalye po. Vera, buksan mo muna.
Okay, so, Mr. Limsiaco, meron pa ba kayong ibang tinatagong pera? So far, if we add up reserves, excess reserves, investable funds, the unused SARO, and the 30 billion na hindi na transfer as a result of the TRO, this is 709 billion pesos. So, yan po
Mr.
ang...
Mr. Chair,
Yes, please continue.
Para lang maklaro natin, Mr. Chair, the 21.17 billion na PCSO in PAGCOR per share, Mr. Chair, na 2 taon, that's 42. Hindi po namin siya tinitreat as premium income because specific po siya na benefit
it's for
expansion.
benefit expansion, yes.
So
we're just
hindi siya
looking
kasama,
at cash.
hindi siya kasama po siya sa...
But it is for consulta.
Hindi po siya kasama sa treatment natin na income, and so hindi siya papasok as part of
Mr. Limsiaco, it is very clear to us what the purpose of that 42 billion appropriation is. It includes the payment of the consulta package. Tama po?
Tama po.
Okay. So that is 709 billion pesos, Mr. Chair. Para lang clear kung gaano po kalaki ang excess funds ng PhilHealth.
700
709
million or billion?
billion po.
Million.
280 plus 150 plus 209 plus 70. 709 billion pesos.
Mr. Chair? Mr. Chair?
Chairman, can I interject with the indulgence of...
With the indulgence of Congressman Stella, Congressman Paduano, you're recognized.
So, 709 total. Magkano may computation na ginawa si Vice Chair, Senior Vice Chair. Magkano ba talaga?
Mr. Chair?
Yes, proceed.
Again, Mr. Chair, kung titingnan natin this investment, hindi lamang siya sa members' equity, mayroon din siyang portion para sa liabilities na nandyan sa investable fund po natin. So again, trial balance ang pinag-usapan, asset, liability, and equity. Now,
Yes, pwede natin puntahan yan mamaya, Mr. Chair.
Hindi po natin po pwede siya ganyanin,
Kasi, Mr. Chair, kanina may pahayag si Mr. Ledesma na good news, wala na tayong utang. Yan ang sinabi ni Mr. Ledesma. Wala na tayong utang sa hospitals. Tama po? Sinabi ninyo kanina. So, pero pwede natin balikan, Mr. Chair.
With the indulgence of Senior Vice Chair. Hindi kasi, sana ilahat yun na lahat. Kasi pakulang pa yan Ako kanina, kunwari yung supposedly 2023 nyo, di ba? Yung subsidy, that is 80 billion, di ba? You only collected 58, di ba? O, di ba 22 pa kayo? Magkano yung collection nyo?
50.
50?
O di may 30 pa kayo na kukolektahin sa DBM. O sinaba niyo ba yan sa excess?
Mr. Chair.
Wala pa.
Mr. Chair. Ganito siya, Mr. Chair. Even though na hindi natin nakokolekta itong premium from the national government, even year 2024, kasama na po siya as part of our surplus or excess fund, Mr. Chair, calculation, because we are adopting the accrual method, Mr. Chair. So in other words, regardless man kung papasok yung cash in CA, yan ay treated na siya na premium income of the corporation. So pag close natin ang libro, Mr. Chair, papasok siya sa ating surplus. That's the reason why
ibang accounting ang ginagawa natin, yung availability lang. Hindi po to accrual or cash basis. Kung ano lang ang available na resources. So tama kasi ako ay Bob Caraps.
Mr. Chairman, in fact, may ano pa, 2024 pa kayo, di ba? 22.4 billion na collectible from the DBM. Tama? Oh, 22.4 billion. Because the only actual release is only 40 billion, di ba?
Mr. Chair?
Oh, yes. So, 20, tapusin mo na. 38 saka 22. B. O, anong totoo doon?
Okay. Kung pag-usapan natin yung 2024, again, ang allocation from the syntax ay 40 billion. And PCA Zone Bangkor ay 21. So, 61 lahat. Now, hindi natin treat siya as income, ito yung PCA Zone Bangkor. So, tanggalin natin. 40 na lang. Sa 40 ito, again, regardless man kung na-receive namin ang pera o hindi, ay kasama siya sa kwenta ng income and papasok siya sa surplus or excess fund natin, whatever the difference between the income and expense. Now, sa 40 ito, ang na-release ng DBM sa atin ay 9 billion plus. 9 billion plus lang. Yes po. 9 billion po. So, in other words, collectible namin siya sa DBM, naka-reflect as part of the receivable natin sa DBM, pero ang kanyang income ay na-recognize na po natin siya in our financial report.
And then, magkano talaga yung collectibles sa DBM for 2023-2024?
2023, Mr. Chair, 28 billion plus yung 21. In 2024, the 21...
DBM to ha, pinag-usapan natin doon sa ano ha, sa premium subsidy ha.
Yes po, Mr. Chair.
O magkano lahat?
Paki-compute.
Hindi, kasi kanina nasusundan ko lang record nyo is sa 2023, 58 billion release. But the budget for you is 80 billion. So that's 22 billion na balance. At inamin niya ng DBM kanina.
Mr. Chair, may I clarify? Again, 2023 pag-usapan, 80 ang GAA natin. Ang na-release SARO sa atin ay nearly 80 billion pa rin. Pero yung nailabas lang ng DBM sa atin ay 50.
Kanina sabi mo 58.
Ang 58, Mr. Chair, Mr. Chair, ang 58, ito yung benefit payout na natin po, lumabas na pondo.
Di ba lalong lumaki yung collectibles sa DBM that is 30 billion instead of 22? Tama? 30 billion. Di ba kasi 80 eh. Nakuha niyo na yung 30?
Mr. Chair, ang SARO ay nasa amin na. 2023 pinag-usapan, Mr. Chair. Pero, again, nasa amin na yung 2023 na SARO na 80 billion. Ang nailabas na yung ay 50 billion. And mayroon pang 28 billion something, 28.8 billion ang receivable natin sa DBM. Sa 50 billion na binigay sa atin ng DBM, again, benefit payout ay nasa 50 out, so 58 billion. So, ito ay full fund ba ito, as mentioned by Kong Stella, Mr. Chair, na yan ay pondo, full fund from the direct, indirect, nandyan sa loob ng ating kaban. And benefit payout, depende kung sino man ang mag-avail, lahat po ang kaka-avail ng benepisyo.
Mr. Chair, can I proceed? I know, but Mr. Chair, can I just proceed? So, for now, I will just stick with my 709 billion computation of excess fund. Magkano, Mr. Limsiaco, ang kailangan ninyo to implement for 1 year the National Health Insurance Program for 2025?
Mr. Chair, Mr. Chair, to respond, Mr. Chair, to Kong Stella query, the calculation of our actuary for the benefit expense intended for year 2025 ay 440 billion. Now, sa 400...
Mr. Chair, how did you move from an average of 140 billion in the last how many years? All of a sudden, you're jumping to 445 billion. Of course, masaya kami kung yan ay kaya nyo. Pero ano ang evidence na iuuwi namin ngayong hapon, nakakayanin ninyong ipatupad ang ganyan kagandang programa? So, 445. Ngayon lang, ang computation ng DOF is 140 billion. Pero ang actual ninyo, sa pagkakaalam ko, ay 90 billion pa lang. Magkano ang actual po ninyo na benefit spending as of today?
Mr. Chair, on the computation of the 440 billion, our actuary can explain that one. But on the part of the benefit payout for year 2024, as of December 6, nasa 155.5 billion based on the cash position report.
155. How about last year?
Last year po, nasa 118 billion po. One year.
118 billion last year, Mr. Chair. This year, tumaas to 155. 155. But for 2025, nung narinig ninyo na zero subsidy, biglang all of a sudden naging 445?
Mr. Chair, Kong Stella, our actuary, Ma'am Neri, can explain the figure.
Hindi. I want to hear it. We want to hear it from Mr. Ledesma himself, the PCEO. Siyempre, masaya kami, di ba? Kasi yun nga gusto natin mangyari. Pero, ano ang design ng...
Mr. Chair, before I give that number, just want to reiterate, we are very aggressive with all of the of the benefit packages, with all of the increases.
Okay, but we want to know kung kaya ninyong gawin yan. Remember, capacity is the most important thing here. Ito nga ang situation eh. Ano ang dahilan kung bakit kayo nakapag-accumulate ng sobrang daming pera na naging investment bank ang PhilHealth? Sa halip na social health insurance program ang pinapatupad ng PhilHealth, ang pinapatupad po ng PhilHealth sa ngayon ay investment program. Pasensya na po. Yan ngayon eh.
So the number we're looking at...
And the reason for that is because ang bagal ng benefit expansion. Napakatipid ng pagtaas ng case rates. Ang bagal-bagal ng pagbayad sa hospitals, in which case, napakalaki po ng mga pagkakautang ninyo sa hospitals. So yun po, napakadami po ng problema sa implementation. So, yun ang tanong. Ano ang proof na kaya po natin tumalon from 155 billion in benefit spending as of today, December 17, to 455 in 2025.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to correct the 445 number. No, the number, the benefit expense number, which we had approved by the board, is 271. No?
271.
271. So, ma'am, Mr. Chair, Constella. So you have like 117 or 118 2 years ago. This year we're targeting to be around 155, 160, and then next year will be 271. Now I think that's doable because we've already factored in all of this benefit expansion and benefit increases including 8%. So that's the number po.
So 271.
Just to correct po. Sorry po.
So 271.
Yes.
Not 455.
Not 455, not 440.
And you will see the details because you will submit.
Yes po.
And this reflects all of the benefit expansions that we had discussed previously. Tama
Yes
po?
Yes po.
Okay. Sige, next question. Sorry, babalik ako doon sa excess funds. Doon sa COA report, 2023 report, meron tayong erroneous data entry for 15.55% of enrolled beneficiaries. Ibig sabihin, duplicate enrollments for 15.55% of members. Meron din pong 266,665 enrolled senior citizen members na duplicate entries. Meron din pong inclusion of 4,062 deceased senior citizen members sa ating database. In other words, in previous years, na-overcharge po ang gobyerno. Di ba po? Kasi binabayaran po ng gobyerno ang mga premiums ng senior citizens, halimbawa. Pero kung nakita po ng COA na merong mga deceased seniors na po, pero binabayaran pa rin natin ang kanilang premiums, obviously, we are overpaying. So magkano po, do you know about this, President Ledesma?
Yes po. Yes, Mr. Chair.
So magkano po ang utang ng PhilHealth? Kasi po, do you agree with me na meron kayong utang sa national government? Kasi po, we overpaid you. So magkano po, do you know about this, President Ledesma? So magkano po ang utang ng PhilHealth? Kasi po, do you agree with me na meron kayong utang sa national government? Kasi po,
Mr. Chair, the accounting for that one, Mr. Chair, pag doble, it should be, tama po, kailangan natin siya i-reconcile with DBM and treat siya as deferred credits, meaning na pumasok as income, pero dahil sa nadoble, i-transfer natin siya sa liability. Deferred credits is under sa liability account. So, pwede natin siya maibalik sa national government. So, ito po ay hintayin lang natin ng reconciliation po, and then with the receivable appeal to DBM, and then this payable po dahil sa nadoble, ma-reconcile po naman natin po ito.
So, aware kayo na may ganong overpayment?
Yes, Mr. Chair, Constella.
So, pwede ninyong isubmit sa amin kung magkano po ang in a way rebates. Tama po? Kasi we overpaid. So, yes. Yan po ang hihingin po namin na report.
Yes po.
Yeah, yes, Mr. Chair, we shall submit po to this committee.
Okay po. Next question. So, paki-explain po sa amin ang proseso po ng pagtanggap ng pera. Kasi at the start of the year, so halimbawa po, last year, ang premium subsidies ay 60 billion, tama po, para tama po, 40 billion pala. 40 para sa, for this year, 40 billion para sa premium subsidies, and then another 20 para sa benefit expansion. Nung January 1, natanggap ninyo ang SARO? Or start of the year, natanggap ninyo ang SARO? Para sa premium subsidies? More or less, at the start of the year, kailan ninyo nakuha ang cash allocation para sa 40 billion?
Mr. Chair, the process is that we have the GAA and then PhilHealth will gonna bill DBM for the indigent.
Yes, but do you get that at the start of the year, more or less?
More or less po. Opo, dahil
First
sa
quarter. Sa first quarter, more or less, nakukuha nyo na ang cash?
Yung cash, Mr. Chair, kung Stella ay na-receive namin sometimes in first week of October. Tama? Mga first week of October, Mr. Chair.
So may delay ng ganong katagal?
Opo. Because may mga billing pa and then proseso, verification, and labas ng SARO based on the SARO.
Pero binabayad sa inyo yung buong 40 billion para sa premium subsidies?
As I mentioned, Mr. Chair, kung Stella, 9 billion lang ang
9 billion pa lang?
Apo.
Okay,
Apo.
so yung may pala, so yun ay more, in the last 2 years, how long does it take for DBM to pay the full amount?
Mr. Chair, kung Stella, the previous years, aside from 2023, ito po ay talagang halos bayad po yan. Nearly 100% po yan. Based sa
Nakakabayad naman?
Opo.
Nakakabayad naman?
Opo.
Okay, so na itatawid ninyo yung kawalan ng premium subsidies. So in effect, nakaka-operate kayo up to October na walang natatanggap na kahit piso from the government. Parang ganon. Yun ang realidad.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay.
Because again, one fund concept.
Yeah, so even if on paper, dapat January 1, binayaran na kayo ng gobyerno, but because of certain inefficiencies in paying government to government, in reality, binayaran kayo October na. So talagang tinawid ninyo ang sarili ninyo. Parang kayo na zero subsidy din from January to October. Parang ganun po. Tama po?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
In other words, itong pagka-zero subsidy natin sa 2025 ay kayang-kaya nyo talagang itawid ang sitwasyon na yan sa dami ng pera natin.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay, salamat po. Next question. Ang pinag-uusapan pa lang natin is indirect members. Malaki po ang natatanggap natin sa direct members. Tama po?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Kasi ang direct members consists of salaried workers from both private and the government. Tama po?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Kasama din ang OFWs.
Including the self-employed.
Self-employed, self-paying, etc. Magkano po ang kinolekta ninyo noong taong 2023?
Mr. Chair, for 2023, from direct contribution, actual cash received for the premium contribution amounting to 147 billion.
100.
Mr. Chair.
147. That's 2023.
Yes po.
For 2024 to date, magkano na?
September amounting to 142.6.
Okay. Ano ang collection efficiency natin? Is it, masasabi ba natin na 100%? Kasi mandatory ang PhilHealth sa contribution sa salaried workers. Tama po? Mandatory naman yan, di ba?
Mandatory, Mr. Chair, pero wala.
Yeah, so is it 100% po ba ang collection efficiency natin?
Mr. Chair, kung Stella, for a while, check natin sa core plan. But I don't think that we can hit that 100%, Mr. Chair.
Why not?
Mr. Chair, kung Stella, Of course, may mga employers pa na, of course, may mga delay sa pagbayad. Pero again, let's check the record from the power plan.
Tama po ba na ito ang collection efficiency ninyo? Sa private sector, ang nag-remit ay 85%. Sa government, 91%. Sa self-employed, 32%. Sa OFWs, only 7%. Tama po ba na ito ang inyong collection efficiency? Ito po ay as of October 2024.
Mr. Chair, we're trying to check on the data. Can we provide it na lang to follow, ma'am?
But more or less, you agree with me that you are not collecting from many individuals that you need to collect from.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Have you computed the foregone premium contributions? How much premiums are you losing as a result of less than optimal collection effort? Because I did back of the envelope estimates on the basis of these numbers, you're forgoing 65 to 100 billion pesos. So ganun po kalaki ang nawawala natin pera, siguro dahil anyway, nakahiga kayo sa sobrang daming pera at ini-invest niyo sa safe instruments na dating lang ng dating ang income, kinalimutan niyo na po kumolekta sa mga mandated sectors. At ang ginagawa niyo na lang po is pinapressure niyo ang Congress na mag-appropriate sa inyo by, for example, in the past, lagi ninyong sinasabi every time you come to Congress na mamamatay na ang pondo ng PhilHealth. That was a common na litanya po yan, Mr. Chair. So, last point na lang po, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, pwede pong with the indulgence of Congresswoman Estela, she would like to recognize Congressman Romy Ako.
Yung po bang hindi nyo nasisingit considered as receivables ninyo? Tama?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Oh, in 2022, your accumulated receivables from your direct contributors, from the NGAs, LGUs, accrued interest received from investment at saka other receivables, 61.2 billion. That was in 2022. Now, in 2023, it increased to 105.67 billion. Yun po ang status ng kanilang receivables as of 2023. Kaya lumalaki yung hindi nila nasisingit.
Mr. Chair, I think iba pa nga yun eh. Yung hindi ninyo nakokolektahan na registered members, are they booked as receivables? Or are they booked as receivables? Because if yes, yun yung sinasabi ni Kong Ako. But if not, iba pa yun. Tama ba, Mr. Limsiaco?
Mr. Chair, our receivables as reflected in the FS are also estimates na makukolektahan natin. Of course, yung mga hindi natin expected na makolekta, hindi siya papasok. And kasama po dyan sa ating receivable pati ay from national government, kaya malaki ang figure po niya.
So, ang sinasabi ninyo, Mr. Chair, na yung receivables from national government ay pasok sa sinasabi ni Kong Ako. Tama?
Mr. Chair, as reflected in our FS, kasama po siya as part of the receivable po.
Pero yung sinasabi ko na hindi ninyo kinokolekta, halimbawa sa mga let's say workers na dapat magbayad dahil mandated sila under the law, hindi yun kasama sa receivables.
Mr. Chair, Consuela, may portion na kasama because ito yung mga employers talaga na makikita natin na hindi nag-miss lang ng contribution, and then employers talaga na hindi pa natin na-reach out ng ating mga tao, hindi pa yung makakasama as part of the receivable, Mr. Chair.
So Mr. Chair, can we request PhilHealth to submit to us a report on collection and paki-separate yung dalawang category na yan at i-estimate niyo kung magkano ang losses as a result of these two categories.
Yes,
Yes. And as a final question, Mr. Chair.
Sorry, ma'am. Yes, we will comply and submit a separate report, ma'am, on that.
As a final note, Mr. Chair, kanina po, klaro naman po na ang dami-daming pondo ng PhilHealth. 709 billion ang aking estimate, more or less. Ang dami po talaga. At kitang-kita naman natin, even based on current practice na nade-delay ng bonggang-bongga ang pagbayad, ang pag-remit ng national government doon po sa premium subsidies, kayang-kaya talaga itawid ng PhilHealth ang sitwasyon ngayon or for next year na 2025 na zero subsidy para sa ating 4P, seniors, PWDs, etc. So, pero kanina, pinag-usapan natin kung hindi kayo or nag-expand kayo ng benefits, pero marami pa rin talagang excess funds. So, meron tayong scope to reduce contributions. Sinabi ko sa inyo, lagi ko tong sinasabi, nananawagan talaga ako matagal na. At sinabi po ninyo, hindi ninyo matandaan na nireject ninyo ang aking call. Ito po, you wrote to me officially noong September 13, 2023, stating your reasons for why you reject that proposal. So, ito po, I'll just read the first sentence. After taking into consideration the nature of social health insurance and the existing provisions of the PhilHealth laws and the Universal Healthcare Act, it is of considered opinion that the proposed suspension of PhilHealth premium payment would not be in accordance with Section 10 of the UHC Act, prescribing premium rates for years 2019 to 2025. The suspension would also adversely affect the implementation of the NHIP, etc. So, you assailed it for its legality. I can send you a copy of the letter that you yourself sent to me just to remind you that you rejected this proposal. So, pero ang sinasabi ko, Mr. Chair, kailangan balikan itong proposal dahil ang dami talaga ang pondo. Kasi kahit po sabihin natin na may zero subsidy situation, kaya pa talaga na hindi siguro kumulekta sa salaried workers kasi 140 billion lang naman po ang kinokolekta sa salaried workers. Eh kung 709 ang excess funds, gusto kong tanongin as a final question kay Dr. Albert Domingo from DOH. Sa tingin nyo ba, kung sabihin natin, okay, ano kaya magiging epekto kung magkaroon muna ng moratorium? Total may mga panawagan according to Kong Wilbert na hintayin muna natin. Bakit yung mga ibang naguhulog? Bakit hindi naman sila bigyan ng free pass hanggat makita natin na talagang ang PhilHealth ay sincero sa kanilang efforts na pagandahin ang kanilang benefit expansion, etc. Anyway, alam natin, with 700 billion in funds, kayang-kaya talaga nilang to at the very least support 1-year operations. I'd like to hear from Dr. Domingo. Anyway, may sinasabi siya, at any point in time, kung talagang kailangan or ma-prove ng PhilHealth ang kanilang kakayahan, pwede naman kung hindi supplementary budget, pwede naman natin sabihin na you can now begin collecting premiums.
Mr. Chair.
Dr. Domingo, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Honorable Kimbo, sa tingin po namin, yung kasing nakalagay sa Section 11, kapag sumobra nga yung reserba, and I quote, "The excess of the PhilHealth Reserve Fund shall be used to increase the program's benefits and to decrease the amount of members' contributions." Hindi po sinabing contribution rate. Yung nakalagay po sa Section 10 na agree po kami sa management na hindi pwedeng galawin kasi lehislatura lamang ang pwede magbago is yung contribution rate. Ang nakalagay po sa Section 10, and I quote, "For direct contributors, premium rates shall be in accordance with the following." So inaantay lang po alinsunod sa batas na attached agency ang PhilHealth kung ipropose po na management sa board yung mekanismo para yung bayad, hindi yung rate, yung bayad o diskwento ay mapatupad. Aantayin po namin yung proposal na yun kasi sila po yung may hawak kung ilan yung membership, ano yung magiging collection or mga diskwento na gagawin. Salamat po, Mr. Chair.
Pero moratorium ang sinasabi natin, so hindi naman rates, kung hindi yung mismong why not perhaps suspend collecting at the current rates? Yun ang tanong natin. Do you think that might work in the current situation na napakaraming funds and in a situation na gusto nating pilitin ang PhilHealth to actually do a better job? Or baka naman, susukuan na ba natin ang PhilHealth? Or sasabihin ba natin na kailangan ba talagang baguhin ang paraan ng pag-implement ng programa? Anong naiisip ng DOH dito?
Salamat po, Mr. Chair, Honorable Kimbo. Yun po yung sinasabi nga namin in public at sasabihin na rin po namin sa body na ito na panahon na para magpakita ang gilas yung PhilHealth. Kasi kailangan makumbinse ang ating legislatura na ano man yung paraan, kung subsidiya man or dagdag na budget, kasi meron pa yung PCSO tulad nung napag-usapan kanina. Ito na yung paraan para mapakita na yung sa English absorptive capacity, sa Tagalog yung kakayahang gumastos, na hindi lang basta inanunsyo na may dagdag. Salamat po kay Honorable Lino na pinuntun nga niya, puro anunsyo pero hindi bumababa kasi yung anunsyo hanggang sa board yun eh. Hindi naman kami yung magpipirma ng cheque para lumabas yung pera. So yung paraan para ma-print yung cheque at lahat ng kailangan mangyari para lumabas yun at mapirmahan at lumipat na dun sa mga ospital, yun po yung kailangan magpakitang gilas na, lalo na sa darating na taon na ito.
Mr. Chair.
Yes,
Mr. Chair.
with the indulgence of Congressman Jude Sidre, the Chair would like to recognize Congressman Ako.
Dr. Domingo, yung pang hinihiling ni Honorable Kimbo day-to-day activity ng PhilHealth or it's part of the policy framework?
Salamat, Mr. Chair. Yung panukala po ay polisiya, pwede kong iangat sa board, pero yung computations po kung paano ang day-to-day activity.
Kaya nga, yung hinihiling niya is supposed to be of the policy framework. And pursuant to have to the law you have cited, the administrative code, trabaho po yun ng board, hindi po trabaho ng PhilHealth. So that's your responsibility.
Tama po, Mr. Chair, yung polisiya po. Aantayin lang po namin yung datos.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.